Well, hello everybody. Thank you for your patience. We're live. Now, let me go over and, because I'm going to stream also on Fanbase. I trust that all of you are doing well. If you're here in the chat, say hello and let me know that you're here. The better man. I see you. And also Sugar Visions. Hello. Thank you for joining and being a member on YouTube. Because we're going to be doing some exercises today as well. I'm just going live on Fanbase also. So bear with. I'm there. I'm here. It's good to see everybody. I'm Jeannie. Welcome, sweetie.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just so you know, we're streaming on YouTube too.
I got you.
Marquise. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
About to leave me out on this beautiful Saturday?
No, never. Never. It's good to see you all here, though.
I seen a YouTube notification. I said, let me get it.
Well, I'm there and I'm here, too. I'm there and I'm here. Oh, Marquise.
Invite these people to the stage.
Thank you, Marquise. Thank you. Because I don't want to keep everybody waiting anymore. Because, you know, I give myself an hour, but, you know, somehow one of us, me, Alan. Alan is here, too. Hey, Alan. Alan is...
I didn't know it to be. Hey, y'all. Hey, Angela.
Hey,
Orange. Hey, over on YouTube, and then you were like, I'm over on Fanbase, too. I'm like, where I want to be. I want to be over here. So, I'm over here.
And K-Frame is here, too. Listen. Remember the lecture we read last night? The bread and the wine. And Neville is speaking about states. What state of mind are you in? I was reading a post and they said, I'm so tired of chasing. I'm tired of the law. I'm tired of this. I'm so frustrated. Hello. There's your state.
State of what?
Exactly. There's your state that you are in. So what do I tell you all the time? I always go to polarity because I think in terms of law. Neville thinks in terms of law too, but he uses different words. I like his. When he says, what state are you in? Remember, polarity always asks you, where are you now and what are you doing? That's your state. Where are you and what are you doing? Because wherever you are, you're going to have to continue doing it, because here's an example. If you are in a state of frustration, you can't go anywhere without somebody picking a fight with you. Hello, right? You can't go anywhere without somebody, as they say in Barbados, having talk for you. You can't walk down the street without somebody flipping you the bird, honking at you. That's your state. Your state is one of argumentativeness, if that is a word. It's a state of agitation. So how are you going to go down the street in a state of agitation and expect to receive, well, hello, darling, have a great day? How are you going to get that? As within, so without. You have planted frustration. You have planted agitation. You can only reap it. So, second, if you hear the noise, that's my girl. She's in the harness. K-Frame, thank you for being a new member. Anyway, thank you very much. But here's the thing. As within, so without. That is the law of correspondence. So what state are you in? If you are walking down the store and you say, oh, man, this is so expensive. I can't even get my basic needs. I can't, man, the rent. What state are you in? You're not in the state of, oh my God, I got so much money. You're not in that state. So how can you expect money to come to you if you are not in the state of money? You're in the state of what? Not having. We've got to be able to identify our states. If you are in the state, because here's another example. Men ain't shit. Women ain't shit. Well, you are in a state of what? Hurt, anger, bitterness. Why? Because you were hurt and you are walking with the hurt. It is raw. It is pure. It's right there. And you have doused yourself in it like a fragrance. Skunk-like, but a fragrance nonetheless. So if you are in a state of saying there's no good men or women in the world, how are you going to see them? How are you going to encounter them if you're looking through the lens of there aren't any? If there aren't any, you won't see any. But now, here's how you switch states. Neville says, what would it be like if you had the thing you wanted? You see, the moment you do that, the moment what's happening underneath there, here's the law for you. What would it be like if I had what I wanted? And you sit there and you say, can you imagine? And you sit there and you daydream and you say, oh, if I had that job, I'd be so excited. I'd feel so this, I'd feel so that. Oh, you're in it. You're in the state. The moment you say, what would it be like if, and you start to imagine what it would be like, you're in it. You're in it. So now that you're there, what are you going to do to hold it? Just stay looking at it and play out that imagination. And Neville says, to make it easier, create a small scene, a little one, because you're in the state now. You're in it. You are in it. As soon as you stop and you imagine, what would it be like if you're in it? You're in it. But what did you do by way of law? You changed your vibration, because in order to move, you have to change the vibration to where you want to be. You have to raise yourself up to move in the proper direction. So you changed your polarity. You're no longer saying, oh God, I can't. I don't know. You're not doing that anymore. Where are you? What would it be like if? Oh my God, it'd be so fantastic. I would feel like this. I would feel like that. I would feel like this. Oh my goodness, you're in it. You are in it. That is how quick it is for you to go from a state of to a state of really? Oh, that'd be so nice. You see, they feel different in the body. They feel different. So how do you sustain it? Well, that's up to you. How long can you hold it? How long can you maintain that? Right? So if you go through the day and you catch yourself being, I don't want to, I got time today. Flip it. What would it be like if you walked down the street and everybody just had a smile for you and said, hey girl? What would that be like? Now, get in there, because right where you are is your imagination, aren't you? You're in it. You are in there. And so now what you do in there, get a small scene that shows you you're there all the time, so that every time you go back to that small scene, you put yourself back in the state. We live from the state. Hear what you say on a daily basis. Oh my God, I was in such a state. Listen, we say it all the time. I was in a state, girl. They had me so mad. I was in a state. But now I'm going to sit here and tell you, you can change that state, and you'll say to me, well, that's easier said than done. No, it is as easy as your imagination, because that's what you're doing in the old state anyway. Here's another example, because we read the lecture last night. If there's somebody, a particular somebody, and you can name them because they came to mind as soon as there's a particular person, I said that, and that particular person comes to mind, and you don't like them, they don't like you. You are not seeing them. You're seeing the state that you're in. You're not seeing the person that you dislike. You are seeing the state that you dislike. Their face is just on it. Rest with that for a moment. You are not seeing the person. You're seeing and responding to the state that you are in that paints the person in the only way it can. So then Neville says to elevate that person and to forgive that person. Oh, there's that word, the F word. But he says to forgive that person. He's not saying to you, just, they didn't actually hurt you. That was just on your mind. He's not saying that. He's saying they acted from a state. It is the state, not the person, the state. They found themselves in a state. They can only behave according to the state that they're in. So if you think about that person and you go, heifer, I can't stand you. You hurt me. You're looking at a state. You're not looking at the person. And because that state has got you enveloped so deeply in it, you will never see the person. He says to you, elevate that person because you're looking at them. So what you're doing in actuality, change the state. How do you want to see this person then? Well, that depends on you. What state do you want to be in? What state do you want to be in? Do you want to be in a state of anger? Do you want to be in a state of resentment? Well, then continue on in that state and you'll forever see that person in the state. And that's why you can't forgive them. But I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you, your state of mind colors everything that you are seeing. Your state of mind colors everything that you're saying. Here's another example. If I say the word God, some people clutch their pearls and they pick up stones and they're ready to throw them. Or in Barbados, as you would say, pelt big rocks. They're ready to throw and stone me for saying the word God. Why? Because the state of hurt from church has painted God in a particular light. It doesn't matter what light you paint God in. It's the way you see God, your state. So if you are looking at God through the lens of, please, rules for thee, but not for me. I'm supposed to turn the other cheek. What you talking about? That's your state. That's not God. That's your state. Because you are looking through the lens of hurt, of disappointment. So whose face do you put on the disappointment from the church? The only one you can, God. Because you know as well as I know, whether you are agnostic or atheist, you know that there's something bigger than yourself. Trust me, we all know. But we've been tainted. Oh my God, I can't see the chat. On Fanbase, I can't see the chat. There's a question in there. Somebody tell me what it is. Somebody tell me what it is. And I'll answer it. Because
it's empty on my end.
Is it? I just saw somebody.
Yeah, it's empty in my end too.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Well, I'll carry on because I can't see the chat. So if something happens in the chat, let me know. But do you hear what I'm saying to you today? Your state of mind, which means where are you now? What are you doing? That's going to tell you what you are seeing the world as. And in order to change it, Neville says do one thing. What would it be like if? Because usually we want something, do we not? That's how come we're all trying to learn the law, because you want something, right? So when you are wanting something, just ask yourself real quick, what would it be like if I did have it? Because as soon as you do that, you have now flipped your state. In my house, there are many mansions. That's the scripture. And Neville equates the mansions to states of being. In my house, there are many mansions. There are many states of being. And you have the ability to flip the switch, turn on a dime. You have the ability to do that. If you catch yourself and you go, oh man, well, I can't. Oh, where are you? What state are you in? And as soon as you say it, as soon as you see what state you're in, go. What would it be like if I had it?
Angela.
Yes.
Yes. I have a question.
Yes.
Yes. You got me reminiscing about, I used to date this guy back in the day, and he used to be like, you always see the world, you always got your rose-colored sunglasses on. And it used to tick me off so bad. And then later I was like, okay, well, aren't you supposed to see the world in a good way? Like, can you explain that? Like, I never understood, like, why are you traumatizing, you know what I'm saying, shaming me for wearing rose-colored glasses? Like, have you even heard of that expression? Have y'all heard of that expression? I used to pick me off so bad.
Yes, I've heard that expression many a time. You see, because that's what we do. He said that to you because he sees the world through the state of what? It's cold. It's hard. You got to be ready. You're always on the defensive. That's how he sees the world. So he can only see the world through that lens unless he changes it. That's why they're rose-colored lenses, right? If you only see the good. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense now. Yeah, because he used to make me so bad. Like, dude, what are you talking about? And then that makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Well, he also needs you to validate his reality.
That part, yes.
So he's like, you telling me that you're looking through your rose-colored glasses, and you're not seeing the destruction that I'm seeing through my eyes, through my faded glasses of negativity? Please believe me. No, sir. I told you that I don't care what this world is doing. I am what I am.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Here's the kicker of where we are. If you allow someone to convince you, you know what you've done? You've had to, if their state is higher than yours, you have to elevate yourself to see through that higher state now. But if you allow somebody to convince you the world is hard, it is evil, there's nothing but wickedness in the world, you have to come down to that state so you can see it for yourself. So which would you prefer? Because here's the thing. Whatever state you are looking through, as within, so without, you will now begin to create your experiences from that place. That's the kicker. So when you say things like, I've got time today, what did you do? You had to come down to a lower state, a state that is not beneficial. Why would you do that? Because now sometimes you'll notice if somebody really ticks you off, you really notice how long it takes for you to switch yourself around to get out of that state. And then you spent the whole day doing what? Living in a state of frustration and dealing with people from that state of frustration. And then what? You feel like your whole day is shot. Well, here's the great news. It's not shot. Stop what you're doing. What would it be like if I was in a better mood? What would I experience if I was in a better mood? Neville says, catch the mood. So anytime, you see, this is why you got to keep your eyes on you. This is why we've got to be vigilant, because it is very easy to slip from one state to another. Very, very easy. All you got to do is turn on the news. All you got to do is go through a timeline on any social media platform, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Right?
Always remember that the poor will be with you always. Ever present is omnipresent, just like I am is. Choose life. Exactly.
I don't know if you heard what Marquis said, but you know the scripture says the poor will be with you always. That's not talking about poor people, though. You know, it's talking about states. States are always there. It's up to you. You can flip between. You can flip between states. Alan says he stops and he counts to 20 and he breathes and he switches his state. You see, you've got to do what comes naturally to you. For me, because I like the Android, I simply say transmutation in progress so that I can change my state. And for me, now I say, okay, so where do I want to be instead? He counts to 20. What do you do to flip yourself from to what do you do? So you got to get comfortable with you. and seeing how you navigate the world. But always catch where that state is. What is it? Because that's the dictator. Oh, your state is your dictator. But here's the thing. That's if you're unconscious of your state. But if you deliberately choose your state, now what are you? The operant power. You see the difference between the two. Hey, David, right? So practice catching the state right away. Listen, if you've ever been on fan base, you know what I'm talking about. If you've not, you're okay. You can go into a room and you will encounter anybody, somebody, and they'll lash out at you. They'll just come for you. They'll spit nails, man, because it's a speaking app. Like, it's an audio app. You can speak to each other. And so they'll come for you, right? They're not attacking me. They're not attacking me. They are looking at the world through a state. So everything has to match that state. So the words that I say don't match their state. So that's what they're fighting against. So now do you understand why you shouldn't take stuff personally? Go ahead, Oracle Treehouse.
I was clapping because that makes so much sense. Oh my goodness, it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're not looking at you. They can't.
No, they're looking through shit color lenses.
Right? They need
that part, Marquise.
I just had an image flash in my mind of little wipers. Right? So if you're looking at the world through a particular lens, if you're saying, well, hey, Lavon, if you're looking at the world through a particular shade of lens, which is your state, your mental state, if you look at the world and you say, man, there ain't no good people around, everybody wicked, everybody just got their own agenda, what do you think you'll encounter? But then when you encounter the same thing you just said, what do we say? You see, I told you the world doesn't have anything good in it. How can it? You can't be made a liar of. So that's why it is your job. And here's how easy it is, right? So for instance, if you have dealt with trauma in your life, mind you, there are different degrees. We're not in the trauma Olympics, but we've all dealt with trauma. Yes, I know we have. If you keep looking at the world through the lens of your trauma, right? What are you guaranteed to get? More of what you're looking at. So how do you switch it? Ask yourself a question. What would it be like if I were free of it? You see, you can't erase the memory. It's been laid down in your mind because you've experienced it. It's been laid down in your mind already because you've experienced it. You learned it. But here's the thing. How does that trauma make you behave? That's the state. What does it make you behave like? Are you combative? Are you, vindictive? Are you mean? Are you cruel? Depending on the trauma you've been through. Now you're living in that state. Do you want to continue living there? So I'm sure the answer is no. So if you don't want to continue living there, here's how easy it is to relinquish it. What would it be like if my life were more peaceful? What if the sting of the pain was gone? What would it be like? Get there in your imagination and you say, ooh, you mean I'd be able to go through the day and not cuss anybody out? Wait, what? I'd have peace of mind? Oh, what does that feel like? Oh, you feel that ease of it, right? You feel the fact of walking down the street and people are looking you in the eye and you don't want to gouge their eyes out. What are you looking at? You don't want to do that. You say, hey, I see you. Have a good day. Why? Because you are imagining a better way to be. But now, how often can you return to that state of being? Instead of, because memories, we flip between our memories. You understand? Because we reminisce. And if you're having a quote unquote bad day and you go back to the old memory, what happens? You relive it. Well, you just dredged it up. So now you're back in that state and reliving it. But what if you said to yourself, okay, what would it be like if I was in a better state of mind? What would it be like if I could walk down the street and not want to feel attacked by somebody just because they looked at me the wrong way? What would that be like? Do you notice a difference in your body? How it feels now? See that state? That's what you want to be in? See how long you can hold that. See how long you can hold it. And the longer you hold it and the more frequently you hold that state, well, now it starts to become, you'll notice it's almost like instantaneously that when you hold that new state, you'll start to see the new things unfold. And so then that's your cue to do what? Go back to it. Go back to it. Because it's unfolding good things, isn't it? So go back. Go back to it and say, ooh, this is nice. So that you can continue to experience the new things. Right? Marjorie, she says, and once we relive that memory, we recreate it. Yes, and she says this is why she revises. So to revise, because she's coming at it from the root of the problem, the cause, which is a phenomenal way. This is why Neville teaches you the art of revision. If that memory is attached to a combative behavior, an argumentative behavior, pain, go in there, find that memory and put in something, put in a new behavior. So that the next time you bring up that old memory, you conditioned yourself to do the new behavior. Revise. So that the next time the old memory comes up, you're no longer doing the old behavior, you're doing the new behavior. You see, it doesn't have you in its grip anymore. Does this make sense to you today? Let me know if it does. I'm going to take a sip of tea.
Yes, it does. I'm still thinking about the rose-colored sunglasses, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'm looking at it as glasses. Okay, well, I'm going to try on the peaceful glasses. I'm going to try on the pain-free glasses. And I feel like when you talk about, okay, well, if that trauma, that memory, that bad memory comes back, I look at it as, okay, the glasses have fell off. Let me put the glasses back on. Bam, that's just how I'm looking at it. But that's not being delusional. No, it's not. That's being I am. That's simply being I am. See, people like to make you feel like you're taking some benign approach. You're running, you're tucking your tail. No, what y'all don't realize is this is the most aggressive approach I can have towards a material existence. I'm a spiritual being having a physical lifetime or whatever experience, and I want to exist as I am. So in order for me to do such a thing, this is one of the most vicious fights that I can fight. So sometimes I like to put a little extra verbiage on what I'm doing so that people can understand this is not a turn your other cheek. This is me reverting and being renewed in the I am. See, what you're doing is you're trying to fight fire with fire. I'm not doing that. My fire is way hotter.
Mm-hmm. See, I hope you guys on YouTube heard that, because Oracle Treehouse said, because you see, when I tell you learn who you are, here's now what she said. She said, so what I'm doing then is just changing glasses? Yes, the glasses are your state. Change them. That's how simple it is. And I like what Marquise said also, because sometimes we can feel like we're being delusional, because the world wants to make you feel like you're delusional. Oh, but look at what happened to you. Don't you want to eyelash in my eye? Don't you want to like still wallow in that pain and hold on to it so you'll never do it again? Listen, holding on to the pain is a surefire way you're doing it again. But you're not delusional when you remove the glasses that show you the pain and put on the glasses that show you love. because you actually had to change what you're looking at. That's all you're doing. You're switching states. You're wearing a red outfit today, wear your red rim glasses. You're wearing a pink outfit, wear your pink frame glasses. It's a state, right? And then Marquise also talked about
this. This is one of the most aggressive approaches that you can have. This is very aggressive. This is not some little mamsy whamsy, because if it was, everybody would be doing it. But what people don't realize is this is a battle of the minds. And if you allow somebody else to say, hey, this is your reality, and you say, you're right, this is my reality, government. This is my reality, brother. This is my reality, mom. Nobody's mind is stronger than your mind.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. See, now there's something that we do as humans. Presumptuous denial. We pretend it didn't happen. You can't do that. As Marquis said, it is a mental war. It's not physical. It's mental. So you've got to get your mind right. Presumptuous denial is if you pretend, well, that didn't happen to me. No, it didn't happen. Meanwhile, your body says, according to this, it sure did. And you're like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. That's presumptuous denial. That would be delusion. But what the law wants you to do is to transmute. How do you transmute? Recognize what happened to you. Acknowledge that it did. Know that it did. Because now you can do something with it. It's a state. You experienced it. You say, yeah, you know what? This did happen to me. However, here's how I want to respond if I should think of it again. And you put a new memory in there. You put a new thing in there. You revise so that you're not pretending or faking that something didn't happen to you. It did. Because if you fake it and pretended it didn't, the state is still alive. And because the state is still alive, even though you deny its existence, you will still be living from it. So acknowledge the thing that has happened to you. And now you have a choice. How do I want to respond?
Feel it in order to heal it.
Say it again, Oracle.
You got to feel it in order to heal it.
Thank you. Feel it. Acknowledge it. Because now that you've felt it and acknowledged what has happened to you, now that energy that's there, turn it, instead of allowing it to continually hurt you, allow it now to be used in another way. You're changing it into something else that is more beneficial to you. It's not beneficial to walk in raw pain every day, because you know why? If the wound is raw and open, everything is salt. And it's going to rub you the wrong way. So just admit what happened. You're not admitting weakness. You're just admitting an experience that you had. But now how do you want to live? Do you want to live by way of that experience and how it tainted you? No. You're not doing that. That's not what you're doing at all. When you acknowledge it, you say, I see how I've been looking at it now. All right. How do I want to look at it instead? And yes, Marjorie, states are automatic. They come with everything. Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. The state is just automatic.
And also, it just to say this real quick, It didn't happen to you. It happened for you. And even when it happened for you, it didn't happen to I am. So the bigger the trauma, the better the dharma. Come on, everybody.
Hey, Lavon.
I was trying to reconcile how I was going to speak on the topic, but I didn't know if y'all was on topic or just went somewhere with it.
Go ahead. You are on topic. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. For me, I think a lot of my experiences, true enough, they made me who I am, for better or worse. The idea of the glasses, concept, I dig where it's coming from, but I'm not sure it's I guess growing up ain't always so simple or easy. It's simple, but it's not always easy. There are whole markets that say, hey, this is how you let go of that thing, that bad thing. And I don't like to use the T word because I think it's overused and it's become a buzzword. The trauma. And okay. Life is hard. You get a helmet. It's going to be tough. And we're going to get through it. And I know that we're going to get through it because we're still here, despite all of the hardships that we face, and we still function and still moving forward. Whether we can be, or let me keep the focus where it belongs. Whether I can get to a greater state of where I need to be versus where I'm currently in a rut at because of some recent history stuff that's going on in my existence over here. It's gotten hard. It's gotten real damn hard. And if it wasn't for that little girl in that back room back there, your boy might be sitting on the other side of that glass with my little girl talking about daddy when you coming home. Hard. And I have to recognize for myself, I'm not that guy anymore. I mean, I'm 55 years old. I got no business out there in them streets trying to do, old behaviors and pretend like it's okay because I don't like where I am. And I don't have the solutions readily available to change my reality to a better day. It's hard. God damn it, it's hard. But I'm tough as motherfucking nails. And the fact that these old memories keep saying, well, you failed at this, you failed at that, you failed at this was not successful, that was not successful. At some point, my hope is going to dwindle and I won't be able to achieve faith. All I know to do is to lean into it, not lean back from it, and stand my ground as best as I can. I'm a firm believer that the victory is in the surrender, not in the war, because peace is never found in the battle, either in my mind against myself or against the world at large. I need to accept life as it is and not try to make it what I want it to be or what I think it should be, but acknowledge it just as it is what it is. Where are the tools that I need? If I can't, then I'm gonna run over here to, hey, bro, Marquise, what do you think about 1 + 5? And then if he can't give me the answer, I got positivity over there. Well, what do you think about 1 + 5? Because I'm having difficulty in making that equation make sense to myself so that I can change my reality from one way to the next. And that's where I rest, because I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't want to get in trouble because that's not off the table for me in achieving my next level. So I'm going to be quiet now.
Levon, how beautiful. Let's break it down then. I trust you got a pen and paper. The word rut entails a habit, something that we have been doing over and over and over again. We learned how to do it because it's a coping mechanism. That's what happened. So that's what developed the rut. Now, when we talk about changing our lives, because I know you mentioned it is what it is, but that's not always the case. It is what it is based upon how we continue to think about it and see it. Now, I don't need to know your personal situation, but I will say this to you. What is it? This is for you to answer on your own. You can write it down. What is it that you want out of life now, right? Because if you answer that question, when you answer the question of what do I want here? I want to struggle more, or do I want ease so I can pay my bills on time and look after my family? I don't want to live in the hood. I don't want to. What do you have to answer that question for you? So when you answer the question, there's another one. What would it be like if you had it? How would you behave if you had it? How would you see the world if you had it? Remember, the question isn't, do you think it is possible or not? Because what makes something possible is the very fact that you can play it out in your mind. That's what makes it possible. And so this is what creates the rut. We as people, meaning humans, we replay things over and over because you said, that memory comes up and said, well, look at how many times you failed. Look at this. You see? That's my point. All you're doing there is replaying a story. So now if I ask you, what would you like instead? That's a new story that you have to begin telling. So the new story now becomes, okay, well, I want this, 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 and this. I'm gonna make this, this. You lay it out. What is it that you want? So when you decide what it is you want, what would it be like if you had it? That's going to make you feel a particular way. Just like when you have the memory that says, you see, you failed in that, you failed in this. What makes you think you'll succeed in this? See how that makes your body feel? Not very good. So when you answer the question of what would it be like if my life was changed? What would it be like if I came back in here and told Angela, man, I took all these steps and you were right, man. My whole life changed. What would that make you feel like, Lavon? That's the question. So now that you get a feeling of what that feels like, how you would behave, stay there as long as you can. You see, because we think the work is on the outside. The work is not on the outside. The outside is only the reflection of what is within. So if the turmoil within is, how am I going to make this happen? How am I going to make this happen? I don't know what to do. If that is what is on the inside, then that is what has to be experienced on the outside. Because it's how you feel, and the thing that you feel most viscerally in your body is what you're always going to experience. I'm not making it up. I'm telling you how it is, because it is law. If I say to you, go outside and plant tomatoes, and you say to me, but I want corn, what do you have to do? You have to plant the seed of corn. So in order to change your life, you have to change the thought, which means those old memories. Yeah, so what if you failed? Who's to say what failure is? So what do you go back to the drawing board? Come talk to me.
Failure is my rent being $2,300 a month, and I ain't sold a painting in a month and a half. This is not working. I need to reassess, reevaluate, and come at it again. It's not a matter of me thinking in an ill, unhealthy, or otherwise unproductive manner. That's not necessarily my case. I can focus in on the issue, be direct and honest with myself about the situation, and call upon various solutions to overcome those obstacles. And at the end of the day, it's not stinking thinking that's messing me up. It's my ability to put something on the market that is viable. It is my ability to price it at a point that will make sense to the buyer. It is my responsibility to find a marketing plan, those sorts of issues that will give myself a best advantage for success. So it's not about healthy or unhealthy at this point. It's about affecting viable solutions that bring about that change. So I'm in a healthy mindset. That's not my issue so much as it is, bruh, we're going to win this thing. Keep hope alive. Keep pressing forward. Don't give up. Because I think that the feedback that I'm hearing around these streets and in my environment is that what I'm offering is quite tangible. And in the realities of it, I'm not converting. For an emotional roller coaster of the events that had happened in my life a year ago that lasted an entire year, it began to wear me down, which is natural. You go to war long enough, you're going to get tired. This is natural. I can acknowledge that. And now that I've regained my footing, not quite regained my stance, because I don't feel the power that I came from to get to where I was, to recover that lost ground, if you will. So now that I'm moving forward in my most healthy life, growing stronger and healthier day by day, the health has not yet met with the result. This makes sense. Am I saying this right?
Yeah, you said it right. So the beautiful thing about it is, all right, that we all have a million ways to skin a cat. You know what I mean? So let's just go ahead and let positivity go ahead and continue to build. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you for that, Lavon. Paintings. This is a question for you to answer on your own. Why do you paint? Right? That's just the question. That's question one. Question two, the last time you sold a painting, how did you feel? I'm coming back to feelings. because this is the part that a lot of us don't get sometimes. And I know you want it to convert into cold hard cash. So how did you feel when you sold your paintings previously? That's a question for you to answer. Because if you come from a place that says, just like you said to me just now, my rent is $2,300 and I haven't sold a painting. The state of mind is I can't make my paintings work to bring in money. That's the state. And so because that's the state, that's the lenses you're looking through. So the only thing you're going to see on the outside of that is not selling paintings, because that's what you're looking at. You're saying the paintings aren't selling, so I can't pay my rent. It's a place of lack. So go back to your painting and the reason why you paint. Paint from a place, which I'm sure you do. You paint from a place of absolute love. Nobody just paints. That's a skill, man. We paint because we love it. You don't paint because you pay your bills. You paint because you love it. Reason being, the love you feel for that painting, it's tangible. So now you say, you know what? The people who are going to see these paintings, they're going to fall in love with them, and they will just say, here, take my money. Because now you're looking at it from a different lens. It's no longer the lens of, I can't sell paintings to pay my rent. And when you change your view to say, okay, you know how I feel when I paint? I feel magnificent when I paint. Don't attach anything other than sheer joy to when you paint. Painting is not linked to rent. Sever the link between them. There's a reason for that. So now when you look at your painting, when you get up to go paint, your attitude is not, is this going to be the one that's going to make me pay my rent? Is this going to be the one to bring in the money? Is this going to be the one? You see where you're painting from? You're painting from, I really got to get this to work. I really need it to go viral. There's a difference between, oh my God, my paintings are absolutely phenomenal and people cannot wait till I am done with it. They have already commissioned me and I can't keep up with the work. That's the difference between the two things, because now one is linked to, oh shoot, I'm doing what I love. Do I have enough time in the day to do what I love? Do I have enough time? Are all of these people, am I going to be able to meet their need? There's that, because that feels different from, is this painting going to be the one to do it? God, I can't, if something doesn't change, I don't know if I can sustain it. Those are two different places. Those are two different states, Lavon. Which one are you painting from is the question. You don't have to answer me, but I want you to ponder it. Where are you painting from?
We can do, how about this? It's already a therapeutic setting, right? How about, because in a group setting, if I'm putting it on the table, so to say, then it's my responsibility to be honest and open to put the facts out so that the group can make an intelligent decision. I think that I'm in a healthy mindset. I'll answer the group's questions, and perhaps there will be a healthier solution than the one that I think that I'm operating out of. I paint because I have 8 cents in my heart, and I can't run these multi-million-dollar kitchens anymore because I have a pretty bad heart. I don't have the benefits. I'm in South Florida, and you don't get help down here for the most extent, statistically speaking, not me being emotional about it, but in the realities of what I'm facing, these are the facts, and I will submit it to the floor. I am going through an emotional issue that caused me to go to jail for a few days. It's been taken care of. I'm home. I'm back to work. But over the course of that time, when I'm at my spiritual best, I'll come to positivity and I'll say, check out this piano painting that's in my PTR. I got you on this. It will never go down in value. I could offer you reasons why, but I don't feel that, and I'm a very honest-oriented person. I think every solution that I've ever come across was because I was sufficiently honest with myself about my shortcomings, evaluations, whatever the case may be, and I was able to navigate myself through because I got honest enough to recognize this is an issue with myself and resolved it. Right now, the issue is my confidence and self-assurance has suffered over the course of this battle. I'm regaining that. I'm growing back into my natural power. Those who heard me speak on this platform before this issue came about know the power when LaVon gets to going. So I'm suggesting that the issue that I face has worn me down a bit. I'm growing myself healthier and healing on a minute-by-minute basis because I know how to surrender and not wrestle with the fact that it's here, but the reality that it came and it passed, and I'm now back on track. Regaining that self-assurance to come to positivity and say, here's what I have to offer. Like you were suggesting, come from that positive, healthy place and offer something real, which is my normal stance. I'm just going through that hardship of recovering myself. In a minute, I will be back on point, and I submit that to the floor.
Hi, LaVon. I wanted to say something. First of all, the painting of the piano is beautiful. I clicked your profile, and I pressed view profile, and I really love the the picture of the moon and the feather. It looks like with the face, the moon painting. But I was just going to suggest that you have a link with how I can purchase something, because you have a YouTube link. I think it'll help if you have a link that I can click and you can have available photos and paintings and the price, a website or something.
Yes, ma'am, I did. I had the whole works. I did the whole profile thing, the whole domain name, website, all sorts of stuff I had going on. I'm not very tech savvy. So while I was growing that learning curve type thing with the tech, I would just, as I started, would do now. If you see something you like, beloved, just message me and we'll work it out, and I'll ship it to you for free because you got it off a fan base. That makes sense.
Okay.
See that solution? It's just a simple one. It's just a simple one.
Positively. LaVon, did you give up on the website thing? You don't want to entertain that anymore? Or you rather do it this way, or do you want a easier way to have that?
Oils and not acrylics. The speed at which an acrylic can dry and sell is much faster than that of oils. It will take 7 paintings before I'm in the weeds. If I get 7 orders at one time, I refuse to let my name go suffering, so I can manage it much better if I keep it the way it is for the time being, because I usually paint these paintings on a time-sensitive basis. You make your order this week, it needs to be available to you before the holidays, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want to take orders that's going to take me much longer. If I have myself widely available to so many people, it's very easy to get overwhelmed with work that I can't meet. So I'll start having to reject offers. And I don't want to do that to anyone who wants to order a painting from me, because I'm the only one in the world who can produce my paintings.
They'll wait for you to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. So.
They'll wait for you to do it.
Like pre-order, or I guess.
Can I?
Or go ahead. This is why the floor is here. Go ahead.
Your paintings are awesome. I love them. I see what Substance was saying, but I feel like you are logical, and that's awesome. I love it. You're awesomely organized, and I love that. But I think that's part of the blockage as far as like with selling. I don't know how many you already have pre-made. I feel like if there was just something like, I don't know, like a LINKTREE or something where somebody could just, a LINKTREE is very simple. It's not a website. Just something where, okay, you post like you have a new painting there. You took down the the piano one, just in case, you know, Substance wants to purchase it, Substance just purchase it. That process can happen is basically what I'm saying. When as soon as you post it, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. You're leaving, you still have your schedule, but at the same time, when you're posting these pictures on your PTR, and when you go into I feel like just to make the connection of the buyer and the seller, if that makes sense, to purchase it. If I'm making sense, y'all, do I making sense?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Yeah, you did.
Okay, that's what I was saying. But your paintings are awesome. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes,
Levon, would you consider doing custom paintings?
Of course, I do custom paintings.
Okay.
See, hey, Buddha, give me one quick second, Buddha. This is a brilliant way, but I want you to hear what just transpired. The two suggestions are on point, and logically, you said, well, I don't want to be overwhelmed and not be able to produce when somebody wants something. I want to be able to stand by my name. That door you just closed. And that's why I said they'll wait for you, because they will wait for you. So LINKTREE is free to set up. I'm sure any one of us in here will help you do it. And you post the image and the link to purchase it. You can use PayPal, whatever, right? So that the next time somebody sees your painting, and just like Substance, goes to your profile, your YouTube, you can put this LINKTREE under there. What you're doing is opening up yourself, okay? You're opening up yourself by having that link. You can't sit there and worry about, but what if I can't fulfill it? That's not on you. You have to understand, people know what artists are like. They know that when they commission a work, they're not the only one in line. They will wait for you, especially when they love your work. So that is not a burden that you need to carry anymore. You have to remove that pair of lenses that says, but I want to maintain my name and I want to be able to finish it in a timely fashion. Listen, you cannot wait for December the 2nd to commission a project for a Christmas gift. That is not on you. That's poor planning on their part. So set up a LINKTREE and you put your images in there and allow people to access it. And a link that also says, what's that word? Commission your artwork. You know, they're commissioning it. They're going to tell you what they want. So when I say to you that, look at where you were coming from, you may be positive, sure, but where were you just coming from when you said that? You said, I want to maintain my name. I don't want to not fulfill. Do you see what I'm saying to you? By the state of where you're coming from, the state of feeling like you could fail and let somebody down. You're not going to. So get up a LINKTREE. You don't even have to have a website. Something. Go ahead, Substance.
Sorry, thank you, positively. I just wanted to ask him if he ever had an Instagram, because what I think would be a great idea is the LINKTREE, like you said, Angela. In that LINKTREE, you have your Cash App thing. That way you can do it all tax-free. So you have your Cash App in one, where you require a set amount of time, different for orders you already painted and custom orders, but a deposit to even get you to start painting. They will do that. So they reserve that with you. And then maybe a couple weeks or when you're ready to ship, you have them send you the rest of the money for that painting that they ordered. But so the LINKTREE, your Cash App would be in one, and an Instagram page, which I think is great also to reach other people. You have a public business Instagram, and there you can put in the captions, when you name your paintings, you name it and you say available painting, whatever. And when that painting becomes not available anymore, you could go back and change that caption to say sold but available upon request. And that's where you get the person for that paint, like this moon one. If I buy this moon one, but Angela wants the same one, she can request that. Now it's kind of a custom painting. But it's only upon request, and she'll send you the $50 for deposit to even get you to start painting it. And then you make sure people know once you send that deposit, you'll have, I don't know how many days you need, but you say I have 30 days, you'll get it in 30 days from that, so that you're not overwhelmed and accepting a lot of orders and whatever. But the Instagram, I think, is good because it's like portfolio. You show, each picture is your painting, you name it. Your Cash App is in that link too. You can also have it public and hashtag certain things so other people can see it and order, and you have a DM there too. But all that is free, Levon. That's why I'm saying that. The Cash App is free. It's tax free. You don't have to pay for the website, and the Linktree is free, and the Instagram is free.
Oh, no. Believe me, I've learned to listen as if my life depended on it. So when you guys giving me feedback, I listen as it's a verb. I'm going to set the Linktree. So I'll Google how to make it, and then I'll put it together, and you'll see it up once it's completed on my profile page on here. So by all means, if you have some reality feedback like that, I'm going to, I listen, right?
I was also going to say too, that same formula that Substance gave you for Instagram, you can actually adopt over here too. Change it up or whatnot. Yeah.
And there was one, I know OnlyFans has a bad name. I'm not telling you to go on OnlyFans, but there's a lady she's a horoscope lady, and I really like what she did. She posts horoscopes at a certain time. She's big on Instagram. I'm like, how did she get this big? She posts the Instagrams, and people wait for them. Like Angela said, she does them once a week, but people know when it's gonna come. And then on her OnlyFans, she does more personal. People subscribe to see more personal horoscope content, and they'll get, personal readings there. And so I'm saying that to say, if you find a platform like that, I think Patreon is another one, because I saw on your page right here on Fanbase where there's a video or picture of you painting. So you can also get paid. Remember how that guy Pierre, we used to watch him on ABC, I think it was, where he used to paint the sky pictures. I forgot what his name was. But you can also have a few couple subscribers where you go live and you paint. And even the people who have ordered these custom things, they can go on and watch you paint their paint. Or any of your fans, you could be like, oh, this is somebody who ordered. You can even attach emotion or a reasoning on why these people are asking you to paint this, and then tell that story to all your other viewers and say, I'm painting this picture because this person went through X, Y, and Z in life and they wanted me to paint, I don't know, or this great memory and whatever. And people can subscribe to you to watch you do these paintings, even though they don't have to buy all of them.
Yes, Bob rocking it. Substance, yes.
We can let me help the group out a bit. As far as how my little operation works, because I think we're getting into the solutions of how to generate the income more so than where positivity was having it, how to evolve the spiritual application to be more mindful of the success more so than the solutions to which are assigned to earning an income from it. It's the spiritual application. So let me give a little feedback on what the operation aspect of it is. I have 3 Instagrams. I had 3 Facebooks. I have various other entities that all produce the same result. They all are paintings for sale, right? Okay, so there are plenty of opportunities for people to see them, find them. The Linktree is a good idea. I'll try that. I'll work that in as the group suggested. But we can get lost in a myriad, and believe me, I've been on Fanbase for over a year, and literally thousands of ideas of how to sell my art, how to sell my paintings came across the table. But in reality, it's, as positivity is saying, it's all an inside job. There's something that I need to work on within me as I heal from the issues that I faced over the last few years or so. So those are the issues that I think are more suited. If I'm wrong, I'll be quiet, but I'm just
You're right, brother. But let me just help this room out real quick. All right. So this room right here it's not really it is a self-help room, and the ideas that you got, I want you to take them, put them into practice, and then we can get back on it. But let's give the master moderator back her crown and let her finish with her bill so we can wrap this up. Thank you.
Thank you, Marquise. But here's the thing. You don't have to wait until you are healed, Levon, is what I'm trying to say to you. You see, we've been conditioned to believe that we have to wait until we change and success will happen. Accept that the success is already yours. So all of these ideas flow to you today the way they did because you came looking for a solution. Do you see? Mentally, you were moved to do something. That's why you ended up here in this space with these things. So I want you to see the correlation between those two things. You saw that topic and you said, oh my God, yeah, I am in a rut. I want out of it. And it moved you so much. You came in here. That's when I say to you, it is internal. And the thing that is felt internally that moves you will bring about, it is your savior. It will bring about the solution. So now when you go out there and you implement these things, implement them for the sake of allowing people to access your artwork. That's it. You do not implement them from a place of, I don't know if this is going to work or not. That's not your concern. Your concern is, how many people do you want to say the name Levon? Hey, did you get your Levon painting? Shoot, that could almost be synonymous with, oh my God, what the hell is his name? You know, huh?
Bob Ross?
No. I'm going to say it because what's his name? Look, Jay-Z sings Warhol. Warhol. Andy Warhol. That's now, we're going to put your name on that level. Oh my God, do you have your Levon painting? In the same sentence. When people think of Andy Warhol, now we want them to think of Levon. You hear what I'm saying to you? So you've got to, I want you now to play around with that one and see how it feels to you that, wait, you're trying to tell me that, listen, I don't know who Andy Warhol is other than the fact that his paintings are worth more than George even has. But what I'm trying to convey to you is, see yourself on that level. It is irrelevant. It is irrelevant that you would use the heart stint. That's irrelevant. You create artwork because it comes from the heart, does it not? I'm just saying. That's what caused you to go into it. But look at it on the other side. It is coming from where? Your heart. So allow people the ability to access it and to purchase it from you. But you've got to put yourself on the same level as Andy Warhol. I don't know his life, but I can tell you I know his name because, well, Jay-Z said he's got his Andy Warhol in his hallway. That's what I know. And that tells me that Andy Warhol and people like, he cut his ear off, Van Gogh. You can get to that level. Why? Make the link tree and allow people. Fool around with the idea of, wait, you know, she could be crazy, but what if she's right? What if I could be on the same level? See how that makes you feel. You'll paint from a whole different place. Next thing you know, all you can hear is, you can't go down the street without hearing, Levon, did you get this paint? Levon, you. That's what I'm trying to tell you today. See yourself from that level. Begin to imagine what your life would be like if your name was synonymous with beautiful artwork. What would that be like, Levon? You can't put it into words just yet. But if you focus there, you will override anything else. You will override, how am I going to market? Because listen, somebody or people will come along and say, hey, I see your artwork and I have it. I would love to do this for you to help you expand your reach. You don't got to worry about that because it will open the door. What would it be like if my paintings were like absolutely phenomenal. Everybody wanted one. What would that be like? You think you're giving them the paintings for free? So then money's not a problem either. So all I'm saying to you today and everyone else in this space, whatever it is that you do it from the place of, ooh, this is so nice. I just love doing it. And allow people, and the opportunities will present themselves for you to open any door. But the minute we say, well, I don't know if I can, you close the door and you box yourself in and you keep yourself in the rut thinking of, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Well, I failed this. I got this problem. Your problems will melt away to nothing because you're not breathing life into them by thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do about that? What am I going to, no, focus. One thing, do my artwork and the world loves it. Live and create from that place. I trust that this makes sense. And so now we're going to move on because this was a great learning experience for all of us here today because clearly we can see the state. And let me go to Buddha. Buddha, I hope you still have it. I hope you didn't lose it, but I didn't forget you, Buddha. What did you want to say, Buddha?
Thank you. So let's check your messages.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll just concede the floor to whomever wants to speak.
No, but you came off your mic and I told you to give me a second. I finished now. And so now you have the floor.
I'm good, sister.
All right. But that's the whole purpose. The rut that we find ourselves in is a mental one. The way we see things, the state from which we are. That's how we see the world, and that's how the world has to shape itself around us, based upon how we see it. If you say things, well, nobody likes me, I can't make friends anywhere. I'm so nice, but nobody likes me. You expect to have friends from there? You can't, because you can't see them because you're not looking at them. That's not your state. So you can only, just as the rose only blooms because it is a rose that's been planted, well, then so too does your life. It blooms from the seed that you have planted it from. What is that mental seed? What is that mental state? So if you have been hurt a lot, you're looking at the world now to protect yourself from not being hurt. But you're looking at hurt, so you can only experience it some more. And I know that sometimes is hard to hear. But if you sit with it for a moment and observe yourself, if you say, man, I can't make friends. Nobody ever calls me back. They just always leave me. I feel so abandoned. You keep playing that. And what happens? You will end up making friends and they will leave you. So how do you change it? You begin to ask yourself a very important question because it will change your state instantly. What would it be like if I had really good friends around me, honest and trustworthy? What would that be like? Or what would it be like if I could pay all my bills on time and I don't even have to worry about money anymore? What would that feel like to you? Neville Goddard says, toy with that question. Because what you're doing is you're not just toying with it. The very fact that you have to think about it and try and see what could happen in your life, you have changed your polarity. You have changed from what you were looking at before to this new thing. And so now the new thing, so long as it has your attention, keep looking at it. Keep playing it out in your mind. That's why he says to develop the small scene. The moment you feel yourself in that new state, put up a small scene so that if you fall out of that state, bring up the small scene and you're right back in it. Because we do it naturally. The moment you sit there and you reminisce about the thing that hurt you, you go back to one particular thing, don't you? And you keep playing it over and over and over, don't you? So what have you done? You said this feeling is attached with this image. And the more you play it, the more you experience it. I'm not telling you anything that you haven't done or that you're not doing. That's the state. The moment you bring up that thing and you replay it over and over again, over and over and over and over and over again, You're recreating it, you're reliving it. But if you practice the art of, what would it be like if? What would it be like if I had what it is? What would it be like if I was living my ideal life? Well, you literally have to move yourself mentally from the old state to the new one. So formulate a small scene that's going to pop you back into that new state. And the more you stay in that new state that you've popped yourself into, well, then it is only a matter of time that you start now to see the evidence of where you've put yourself mentally. We think it is challenging, but the only challenging part is getting your mind around the fact of, that's not going to work, but that's too easy. It doesn't work like that. But that's why we remain. What does Neville say? Unless I accept that I'm the new man that I want to be, I will remain the man that I currently am. And the only way to do that is your state of mind. And to switch states, what would it be like if? What would it be like if? And you begin to toy with that, because right there, right then, you have instantly changed and moved yourself from where you were to where you actually want to be. You've done it mentally. Now, as soon as you've answered that, what would it be like if I had what I wanted? What would it be like if I had the ideal relationship? What would that be like? Well, develop a small scene that you're going to use. It's quite like a trigger phrase, if you will. You know, every time when the hypnotist says, well, every time I snap my fingers, you'll bark. Well, every time you replay that scene, you popped yourself in the new state, and you will see all of the things that confirm to you that you are a changed person. That's what you're doing, day in and day out. But you see, we do it unwittingly. We do it and we don't even know that we're doing it. The law calls you to be deliberate. So that rut that you're stuck in, what would it be like if I wasn't stuck in that rut anymore? Begin to see it. It's going to make you feel something. And then develop a small scene, a little tiny thing that shows you that you're not in that rut anymore. So that now every time you replay that small thing that shows you you're not in the rut, you've pulled yourself out of it. And the more you keep pulling yourself out of it, hey, you're creating a new one. Which one? The one you want to be in. That's what you're doing day in and day out. So you're not stuck. You're not stuck. It looks like you are. But the minute you ask, what would it be like if? Play around with it. What would it be like if? Get in your imagination. Get in there. It's yours. You already use it. But what do we use it for? Man, if I see this person, if I come across them again, I'm going to tell them this. And you rehearse what you're going to tell them. What did you think you just did? You were in a state and you set up a small scene that confirms to you you're in that state. Why? So that when that thing appears, you know how to act. So when the person that you plan to tell off comes across you, you will be presented with the opportunity to tell them off. So now flip it. Flip it. Because it works in both directions. You want to change your life. What would it be like if you did change it? What would you be doing differently? Begin to see that. Develop a short scene that you would say, you know, you got a real good girlfriend and you say, girl, let me tell you what happened. I know, right? I totally changed. Or you could hear them say, what are you doing? You glowing, girl. What's different about you? That scene confirms to you that you have accomplished what it is to get yourself out of the rut. You are already doing it. And yes, Marjorie, remove instantly. As soon as you say, what would it be like if? You've moved yourself. You've moved. And you've moved to where you want to be now. So the next time you catch yourself going back to the old way, how you know you normally behave, nah, flip it. What would it be like if? Flip it right away. You do not have to stay in a state of agitation. You don't have to mull over that garbage all day long, because the fact that you're in that state all day long, now you create from that state. Why am I passionate about this? Because I want a good life too, right? So if I want a good life, chances are you want a good life. So I'm just telling you how to apply the law instantly. Flip it. Do not sit there and languish for another moment. Your hip hurts. What would it be like if my hip didn't hurt anymore? What would you be doing? You see, it feels a particular way, doesn't it? We'll keep entertaining that. I'm going to tell you, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I don't know if you know who he is. You may. He was run over by a truck in a marathon. This man was run over. He was run over, okay? Crushed 6 vertebrae. And all the surgeons said the same thing. You need surgery or you ain't gonna walk anymore. Now, he calls it quantum, right? Neville Goddard gives it to you in simple terms. He says, oh, you can see where you are? You can see that you can't walk? What you gonna do? What do you want to do? You want to walk? All right. Feel that then. What does that feel like if you could walk? What would it be like? So Dr. Joe Dispenza, he goes where? He said he went into his mind. He saw his vertebrae and he fixed them in his mind. Did he have surgery? No, he didn't. And so when you hear him tell his story, he says the reason why he is as passionate as he is about it is because we have the ability to heal ourselves, heal our lives. This is why he tells it to you. This is why he's so passionate about it. This is why he does it. Because he knows that everybody can. But you see, he's a scientist and he speaks in science. Quantum. That's how he speaks. Neville was a simple countryman from a little tiny island. And so when he spoke, he said, if you don't want that thing, what do you want instead? What would it be like if you had it? Don't allow other people to come along and cloud you and say, well, and people are well-meaning, aren't they? They are. They're well-meaning. And they say to you, but that might not be altogether possible. Listen, that person is not telling you what they're telling you because they're trying to be mean. The person is simply showing you what state they are in. So here's how it makes it easy for us to forgive. Here's what makes it easy for us to forgive. The F word. The person who did what they did, who spoke how they spoke, who behaved how they behaved, are in a state. They are in a state. They just happen to have a face. So if they verbally attack you, they're not attacking you. They're just coming at you from the state they are in. What that has nothing to do with you. It's not about you. It's their state. So if their state is always to argue, well, then they're always going to argue with you or anybody else. So that's when you can shake your head and go, whew, Father, forgive them because they know not what they do. They can't see their state because they're in it. But if they stop doing what they're doing, which is what most of us don't do, that's why we continue to spread the hurt and spread the whatever. So forgiveness is not about absolving anybody of wrongdoing. It is the recognition that a person is living their life from a particular state. Just like you are living from a particular state. And when you are in that state, you do things. So this is why the forgiveness has to start with self. When you didn't, people say, I should have chosen a better father for my child. I should have chosen this. Hey, you were in a state. You're not in that state anymore. So you can't go back and look at that and beat yourself up about it. You're not there anymore. You're not in that state anymore, so you cannot go back there. So forgive yourself for the fact that, snap, I was in a state, wasn't I? And because you were in that state, it is over. Are you still there? Or did you move on? Are you in a different state? Well, then you simply say, I didn't know what I was doing because I was in that state. But where am I now? I'm in this state. See how easy it is to forgive the self? And if you walk from a place of self-forgiveness, you have no problem forgiving another. because you will recognize that they are in a state. It doesn't matter how much they have hurt you. They are in a state, right? You're in a state. Who have you hurt? So you want to be able to forgive yourself when you see what you've done, don't you? Start there. It is the state. It is not the person. Not the person. So if you feel attacked, that's coming from their state. But for you to feel the attack and let it manipulate you and drag you down, you have to go down to that state to be in that state with them. So elevate you, and you'll elevate them. Don't worry. So anywho, that's today. That's today how to get out of the rut. You want out of the rut? Can you identify the rut? That is step 1. What is that thing you keep doing over and over and over again? Step 2, what would it be like if you didn't do it anymore, but you did something else? You have to replace it with something else. You can't leave it empty. Cause and effect. So step 2 is, what would I like to do instead? 3, what would it be like if I was doing it? How would that feel to me? Oh, that feels great. And you have taken yourself mentally from the old to the new. And while you're there, develop a short scene that you can use that will put you back in that state every time, so that eventually you will stop having to put yourself in that state, because you'll just live from there. Just like you're living from the one now. I trust that makes sense to you today. I trust it does.
That was amazing.
You're welcome, Substance, anytime. It is just the law, though. It's just the law, and the law is amazing. And if you will recognize the grace of the law, the love of the law, unconditional love of the law, it just looks at you and says, listen, with that scripture, when you pray, believe that what you have prayed for, you have received. And you have it. So what would it be like if you had it? That's the believing part. What would it be like? Set up something, set up your trigger. If it's a snap, I'm back in that. Every time I do this, I'm back in it. I'm back in that feeling that I want to be at. I'm back in that new state. Well, then do it. And set yourself free from all of the baggage that you carry. Hey, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to me. Let's not get that twisted. You just along for the ride. But I say it to you from a place of absolute unconditional love. Because I have done things, probably still doing things that I'm not happy with. But I don't have to stay there, and neither do you. So you pick yourself up and you say, what would it be like if I was successful? At what? Name it. And set up that scene that confirms to you that you are, so that you can flip to that scene and put yourself in the state you want to be in, so that you will see the opportunities as they present themselves to you, so you can take full advantage of them to bring about your success. And I land there. I land there. So, Lord Jesus.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Marquise. I trust that you all found it helpful today.
Yes, was on fire today. Yes.
Oracle Treehouse. Marjorie says, yes, we are so powerful. We have infinite power. And she said those instant manifestations, the bridge started unfolding. Of course, because Neville calls it the bridge of incidents. All of those things, when you say, oh my God, what a coincidence. That is the bridge that you're walking across. It's not a coincidence. It's the unfolding of the thing to bring about what you said you are. Right? That's what it is. So I'm not going to keep y'all, because you know how if you stay, I'll stay. Right? But if you find that you have...
we ain't going till you go.
All right. Listen, if you find yourself in a situation where you think that you can't apply it to your situation, because I gave you the general of how to do it, it works for any situation. But if you find that you want to talk about it, and you want that step-by-step, you want me to hold your hand, I want to hold your hand, right? You feel like you need that? Slide into my DMs, and I'm going to help you through it. Okay? I'm going to help you through it. If you say, but Angela, I ain't had no money to help you, listen, you can subscribe on YouTube for 99 cents a month. You can do that. If you can't, am I going to say to you, the party you're trying to reach is currently unavailable? I'm not going to say that to you. Because you know why? Because when you change your life, you will be the one hollering from the mountaintop, oh my God, you got to check out Positively Angela. Mutually beneficial. There is always a way. All right. Anyhow, y'all go forth and flip it.
Manifest greatness.
You got it. Flip it. You don't got to be stuck nowhere. Flip the script. Flip it. Right there where you are. Turn on a dime like an expensive Porsche. Turn on a dime. That turning radius is tight. Turn. Right? Anyhow, I do love you. Marjorie, thank you for being here. She's got the David, K-Frame, Alan, the better man. And the ones who've not made themselves known in the chat, I see you too, people. I see you. And Miss Cherry, Nadia, darling. Hook a brother up. Roy, I see you, girl. Comrade, Buddha, Substance, Marquise, Mgenie, Oracle Treehouse. Thank you all for being here today. And I trust that you found it beneficial and that you will implement it now. Because now is the time. The harvest is ripe for the picking. So get it picked.
Thank you so much, Angela.
You're welcome, Mgenie. Man, y'all are awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love, everybody. Much love.